99.9% of the time, most of the time, when you use the word can't, and you don't even know you're doing it, but subconsciously you're actually using the word won't.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Justin Harris.
Life is hard. It can be very, very challenging and difficult. I want to start with the admission that I'm as human as anybody else, and what I'm going to be talking about today, I think we all fall into constantly, and we have to remind ourselves that there is a better way of thinking. I want to pause here and remind you of 3 great companies who will improve the way that you're thinking about yourself, because they will improve the way that you do business. Number 1, OREP Insurance. Now, Dustin, come on, really? OREP Insurance. E&O is going to change the way you do. But yes, absolutely, folks. When you're paying less and getting more benefits, your life will change. Your business will change. OREP.org, that's OREP.org. A la mode, of course, is something I use nearly every day that I'm out in the field and that I'm out doing appraisals. You should be as well. Alamode.com or 800 Alamode. And finally, Datamaster, of course. Datamaster is helping you save time, save money, be more efficient. About 40 minutes on every stinking report that you do. DatamasterUSA.com is where you go. DatamasterUSA.com. All right, folks, I was, I know a lot of these episodes start with, I was on Facebook the other day. You know, I don't spend a ton of time on Facebook, but it is the way that we communicate in the All-Star team, in the Dream Team, in the Rookie Training Camp. By the way, I'll tell you about the Rookie Training Camp here in just a little bit. Love that. What an awesome, awesome group of people. But I want to share with you what I ran across, and this is not abnormal. In fact, I'm not even going to go into detail. Let's put it this way. Someone posted about a different way of doing something with regard to an appraisal business, and somebody else used this word that just, it's fingernails on a chalkboard to me, and it's the word can't. Well, we can't do that. Now, I don't think that this individual was saying that that I'm not willing to try, or we don't have the ability to physically do this. I think what this individual was saying was that it's illegal. It's not ethical. It's not moral. Now, what they were talking about, and again, that's not the purpose of today's episode, but I disagree. I think that we sometimes as appraisers think of things that are unconventional as being not possible, meaning we can't do that because nobody else does, right? Come on. If nobody thinks outside the box, folks, we do things the same way as everybody else, and we get what everybody else is getting. Now, I challenged this individual on Facebook in a nice, professional kind way. I don't believe in the the keyboard warrior approach to individuals, and I challenged their thinking. And I said, well, maybe. I mean, just because it's not done doesn't mean it can't be done. And we went back in a very civil, thankfully, conversation. But I see this often, folks. I see this idea, and people think, well, that's not the way we do things, so we can't do that. And I would challenge that. Maybe with lender work we can't, right? Maybe there's certain things that lenders require, but what if you maybe change your lenders? What if you maybe change the way, or your clients rather, what if you change the way that you do business? Does that mean that it's wrong? Just because it's not done by the majority of your peers doesn't mean that it's wrong. There are many, many, many ways to do things. There are many paths to Rome, as they say. Last night, I had an opportunity to help my son. He was working on an assignment. He is in a class where they talk about history and the Constitution of the United States. And one of the assignments is they're supposed to rewrite the Constitution in their own words. Now, folks, the Constitution is not a small document. And if you've ever read it, it is a little bit confusing. I mean, it was written many, many years ago with many words that we don't normally use anymore. And my son is 13, and he was struggling. In fact, I'll share with you, hopefully he doesn't listen to this episode. I don't think he's ever listened to an episode of his life, so I think I'm pretty safe here. But he was in tears, folks. A 13-year-old boy was in tears over this assignment because it was so challenging and so difficult for him. And I sat down with him, and I started working through it with him. And I noticed that he wanted me to give him all the answers. Well, no, Dad, what does this mean? What does this mean? Son, I'm not going to give you the answers. What do you think it means? Well, I don't know what that word means. Okay. Well, if I wasn't here, what would you do? I don't know. I just wouldn't do the assignment. You know how kids get, right? Well, no. There's other options here, buddy. If you don't know the definition of a word, there's a book out there. Now, let's face it. Kids today don't know about books, right? But there is a website out there that might be able to help you. And we worked through it together, and he went to dictionary.com or whatever it was and got the definitions, and we worked through this together. Now, folks, it took me probably 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as long to help him through that assignment as it would have been to just answer his question. Dad, what does this mean? Dad, was it? In fact, at one point he said, Dad, let me read to you the paragraph. You tell me what you think it means, and then I'll write it in my own words. No. Let's try that again. How about you tell me what you think it means, and I might be able to guide you and direct you to what the real meaning is, right? And so that you can write it in your own words. And we went the hard way. We went the difficult path, but I think he learned more. In fact, at the end of the assignment, he said, Dad, that wasn't so bad. I literally had to bite my lip to keep from laughing because it was hard. It was challenging. It was difficult, but he made it through. And when you get to the other side, it's not so bad anymore. Folks, too often I see appraisers, I see myself, I see others, and it doesn't have to be in business. It can be in relationships and health and finances and just life. I see this word can't, C-A-N''T. I want to challenge you a little bit today because I believe that 99.9% of the time, when you use the word can't, you're really saying won't. Let me repeat that. 99.9% of the time, most of the time, when you use the word can't, and you don't even know you're doing it, but subconsciously you're actually using the word won't. And I want to challenge you a little bit. Next time you find yourself using the word can't, I want you to change it to won't and see if it changes your attitude. Next time you use the word can't in a sentence, I want you to, even if it's in your mind, change the word to won't. It's easy to do. Does it make a difference? And all of a sudden, things open up. All of a sudden, what was impossible seems possible. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy. I mean, we spent a long time on this stupid assignment. By the way, I think it's kind of a cool assignment because when you write something in your own words, all of a sudden it starts to make more sense. The teacher's brilliant. But my kids working through this situation was a challenge and a difficulty. But guess what? We worked through, I think, one article, maybe the first article. There's several that he's now going to work through and probably be able to do most of it on his own. Why? Because he's already been through the challenging part. He's already been through the difficulty. Once you do it once, it becomes easy. It becomes possible. But we use this word can't, and we use it frequently. And I want to challenge our thinking on this. One of the things that I pride myself on as an appraiser coach is to help people to think outside the box. I can't tell you how frequently I'm in a private, personal, one-on-one coaching session. Typically they're done over Zoom. And an individual will say, well, yeah, I know, but you can't do that. Well, hold on a second. Why not? Well, come on, Dustin, you can't do that. Are you sure? Have you ever challenged it? Have you ever poked the box, as Seth Godin would say? Have you ever looked outside the box? Have you ever stepped back and said, well, just because all of my peers don't do it that way, does that mean that I can't do it that way? Now, I will be honest, some things you cannot do, right? Some things are illegal. Some things you cannot have bias in appraisals, right? You can't do that. Don't go down that road. But when it comes to business and it comes to doing things efficiently and it comes to challenging the status quo, I would guess that 99.9% of the time when you say the word can't, you really mean won't. I won't do that. And when you challenge that and replace the word, all of a sudden things change, your attitude changes, things open up. By the way, speaking of opening up, have you opened yourself up to new things in your life? Such as Data Master. Folks, I get this question all the time. Dustin, how do I save time? I want to do more. I want to run my office more like yours. One of the first things we talk about is technology. What technology are you using? And are you using technology to your benefit? Data Master is one of those tools that you should be using because it saves time. Well, Dustin, it costs money. No, no, it doesn't. Your time costs money, folks. When you can save time, you save money. DatamasterUSA.com will save you time. DatamasterUSA.com will save you money. A la Mode will save you time. A la Mode will save you money. Folks, I have looked at every single form filling software out there, and they are great programs. I don't think there's a bad one out there. A la Mode will do more. A la Mode will cost you a little more. Uh-oh, there's that word again, cost. A la Mode is an investment in you. A la Mode is an investment in your company. If you're with any other company, I highly recommend you take a look at A la Mode. I truly do. Speaking of online, I see posts frequently of people that are using other software, and they say something to the effect of, I know A la Mode's out there, but it's just so expensive. Folks, you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it from the cost perspective and not the investment or the value. And if there's anything that appraisers should know, it should be value. Alamode.com is where you go, ALAMODE.com or 800 Alamode. Finally, we're sponsored by OREP Insurance. OREP, of course, is the insurance that I've been using. By the way, I got a call from one of my friends the other day who got a letter from his state board. Hate those. And the first thing I asked him was, are you with OREP? Well, no, I'm with something else. Well, bummer. Here's the deal. OREP is E&O, right? We know what E&O does. It doesn't support you when it comes to state board investigations, but OREP does to a certain extent. They will pay up to $10,000, reimburse you $10,000 for your attorney and counsel fees. Folks, I don't know of any other insurance out there that's doing that, and it doesn't cost you any extra. These are just a few of the benefits that you can get with OREP Insurance. It's OREP.org, OREP.org. Welcome back to the program, everyone. Dustin Harris talking about the word can't. I hate that word. It grinds on me, right? When I hear people say can't, my first question in my mind, I may not say it out loud, right? You know how you have things going on, you got this tape playing in your head all the time, and we get ourselves in trouble sometimes when we open our mouths. But nonetheless, I've got this tape in my mind that says, ouch, come on, really? Can't or won't? Folks, excuses are simply our justification for why we can or cannot do things. Again, let me repeat that. Excuses are simply justification for why we think we can or cannot do things. I'm going to challenge you that most of the time there is an opportunity for you to do things that you don't think at first you can do. And most of the time when you don't think you can, you're going to use the word either inside your head, again in that tape on that loop, or outside your head, or on that dang keyboard on Facebook. You're going to say, I can't, or we can't. That's not possible. Folks, can't is simply a synonym for the word won't. 99.9% of the time. I will grant that there are situations when can't applies, okay? Most of the time, it does not apply. My son used the word can't last night probably 6 or 7 times. Dad, I can't do this. Dad, I can't do this. Dad, this is too hard. And yet, we made it through. And he learned a way down the road to journey through the path. And when he gets that same assignment again tonight, when he works on the next section of the Constitution, guess what? He's got a context. It can be done. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. Folks, it's time to get real with yourself. How long have you had that thing in the back of your head that you knew you needed to do, but you keep putting it off and you make excuses? Now, you know what that thing is, and for you it's different than it is for me. And again, it may be health related, it may be relationship related, it may be finances related, maybe it's time to get on a budget, maybe it's time to lose those 12 pounds, maybe it's time to improve your relationship with your significant other, or your child, or your mother, or your father. Maybe it's time to get healthy. Maybe it's time to move forward in your business. Maybe you know you need to hire. Maybe you know you need to switch to a la mode. Maybe you need to switch to Data Master. Maybe you need to switch your E&O to OREP. See a pattern here, right? But there are things that you know you need to do. Isn't it time to get real with yourself? Buckle down. Move to the next level. Whether it be with your business, your health, your relationships, whatever. Isn't it time to get real with yourself? Those of you who are using this word can't over and over and over again, replace that word with won't and see if it changes your attitude. Speaking of a change in attitude and speaking of what you need to do, many of you have been listening to this program for many, many years, and you've heard me talk about the All-Star team, but you've really heard me talk about the Dream Team, and it talks to you, it speaks to you. Whenever you hear about the Dream Team, you think, oh my gosh, that would be cool. To be able to fly to a city every quarter and sit in a room with other like-minded appraisers, people I know, people who I've gotten to know, people who I've opened up to, people who I've been vulnerable with, who know my goals, my aspirations, and my vision, and who are there for one purpose and one purpose only, to help me to become better. But I can't. Remember, excuses are simply our justification for why we can or cannot do things. What is your excuse? Join us, won't you? Please go to my website, theappraisercoach.com. Look at the different cities that we're in. We do have an online version as well. I highly recommend the in-person versions, though. Join us at the Mastermind. Would love to have you be a part of the Dream Team. We'll see you there.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.